This video is a quick demonstration of the new import-export hardware CSV commands in MilestonePSTools. So I'm going to work with this My3007 camera. You can see I've got a few channels enabled. One of them has a slightly custom name. We've got some descriptions, GPS coordinates, an additional stream there, and then some customized settings. So we've got constant bitrate, image quality. On stream 2, MJPEG is enabled. Under the record tab, we're pre-buffering to disk, not recording unrelated devices. The pre-buffer time is 20 seconds. We've got manual motion sensitivity enabled, and we've got a exclude region. We've also got a privacy mask. And let's see what else. Under the client tab, I've got a shortcut set. Live multicast is enabled. All right, so we'll do an export and then we'll import it back in two different ways. One with the full parameter that should get as much of this configuration as possible, and one without it, which is just a basic import. Just adds the device and names the hardware and all the cameras to match the hardware name. All right, let's do it. Okay, and I did an export a second ago. Let me get rid of that. So to use the export command, you need to send the export command one or more cameras or one or more hardware devices. So I'm going to use the get hardware command to select my M3007. And then I'll send that to export hardware CSV. With the full switch, and I'll pass in verbose so we can see a little bit more detail. All right. Let's take a look at what that produced. So we have a CSV file with some basic headings: hardware name, address, username, password, MAC address. You might use this command just for reporting purposes. So we've got MAC address, username, password, the driver, the recording server name and ID that it's on, and then because we passed the full switch, we have this column configuration ID, and this is a GUID referencing this JSON file right here. So this JSON file, this is a JSON representation of the configuration item tree from the configuration API. It's the configuration tree that represents that hardware device, and so it's got all of the properties and everything in here. Now this is compressed and not really made to be looked at by a human, but the import command will be able to make use of it. All right, so let's go ahead and import. So first I will remove that camera. First I want to show you the remove hardware command has been changed to require you to pass the -force parameter. So if you don't provide force, it will say, hey, this is going to result in permanent loss of data. Use the force switch if you want to proceed. Okay, so that camera should be gone now. And it is. So let's import it. And I'm going to do it twice. The first time I'm going to do it without the full parameter, just so you can see the difference. Verbose. There we go. Let's take a look. So you'll see only the first channel is enabled, and all of the channel names have the same prefix, the name of the hardware device. We've lost our description, no GPS coordinates. So this is just a really basic import-export without any of those details. And why you might do that, there could be multiple reasons. Off the top of my head, maybe if there's an incompatibility issue between the export that you have and the device pack version on the recording server that you're trying to import the hardware on. Maybe it's not getting all the detail, or maybe the export fails because it's a completely different driver or something like that. So then on the import, you can omit the full switch, and it'll just do a basic import using the data that's in the CSV file. Okay, so let's remove that camera again and add it again with full. And you'll be able to see the difference in the verbose output in the PowerShell terminal here. So as soon as the device gets added, it's going to open up that JSON file, and then you'll see the properties that it changes as it does it. So right now it's comparing the two configuration trees, and then it's making the changes that it needs to make. So it's before we take a look at the camera, let's see what it produced. So changing the description, enabling some additional channels. Let's see, we've got changing pre-buffer seconds to 20, changing the shortcut in the client settings tab, changing the privacy mask. All right, so let's take a look and see what it did and didn't change. All right, so we got our camera name. We got the channels that were enabled before are enabled again. We've got a description here. All of this is the same. Now, a lot of this is not changed because of the PowerShell tool, but it's actually retained on or retrieved from the camera's configuration when the device was added. Let's see, if we go over to the PTZ tab, we've lost that enable PTZ checkbox because that's not supported in the configuration API. And let's go to the camera. We've got our description, GPS coordinates. It's still black and white. We've got our custom stream settings. The second stream is motion JPEG, 5 FPS. We've lost our second stream, so if you're restoring and you need multi-streaming, you'll have to re-add your additional streams yourself. On the record tab, record on related devices is disabled again. We're pre-buffering to disk 20 seconds. If we look at our motion tab, we can see both the exclude region and the privacy mask are retained. Manual sensitivity is enabled. It's set to 13. That's where we left it. The fisheye lens support, that's not supported in configuration API, so that's not enabled like it was before. On the client tab, the shortcut is there, but live multicast is not. So it seems like live multicast, that checkbox is not part of the configuration API. And there's our privacy mask. So if you have any questions, let me know. I hope this was helpful.